Hello, this is Johnny. Today we're going to cover the basic. This is supposed to be a video one because it's going to talk about what you do when you first burn the image. Hopefully you guys already know how to burn an image. You will have to get, this is a virtual man 400 gigabyte image called Playbox. And what you want to do is you want to get an XD card. I just got a scan disk 400. This one is not the 400, but it's the 256 because the 400 right now is inside the Raspberry Pi. But exactly like this, but it's 400 gigabyte. Now it's probably better to get the one with the 3 instead of the 1. I think it will be faster. But this one, it do the trick. I'm only playing like PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast. And Dreamcast is not, it doesn't play the best. Even though with Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and that's what I'm using, Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. And this one is 400 gigabyte image. And it take a while to download and take a while to burn it. But once you burn it, what do? Because a lot of time you could just plug it in and set up the control and stuff like that. But most of the time you do have to do more than just that. So today's video, we're going to talk about what we need to do to get it up and going, and then get the second controller to work. And then I will do a separate video about Nintendo DS. I already did one on Nintendo 64 to get it to work with bar top. Most of the game is not made for bar top. It's made for handheld joystick. So today we're gonna talk about all that, and to get it to work with the bar top joystick, and also set up where it doesn't matter what image you have. You could use it with a spinner and trackball with 4 different emulator. We will talk about that in the next video, so that way the video will not be so long. So first, when you plug it in, make sure you get the right power, because if you don't get the right power, you are going to say your system going to say the voltage is low. And there's a couple of power that they sell, but it's not made for 3B plus. Make sure you get one that is made for Raspberry Pi, otherwise you will run into a problem. Okay, I forgot to plug in my keyboard. Make sure you plug in your keyboard, and you have 1 or 2 joystick plug in. The reason for that is because this image, in order to set up the Nintendo DS, you have to have a second joystick plug in. So we will do that in a separate video. Right now, when you first get it, when you plug it in, it's going to play a video with sound, and once it finishes, it will come to the main screen. Now, some image will not ask you to set up the controller, and some will. Okay, most of the time, the people who give you the image will set it to default that it will ask you for to set up the controller. But if it doesn't, you have to press the start button. And right now, controller 2 is not set up, so we're gonna go down to the control input, and we're gonna go ahead and press enter. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is set up your controller. You say, yes, I want to set up the controller. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set up the first controller, and then I'm going to set up the second controller, and I'll show you how to fix it if you make a mistake. You don't have to do the whole thing over and start over again. If you make a mistake, you can still go back up and fix it before you exit out the setup. Okay, so you hold any button. I hold a button, just a habit. This setup will always be the same for RetroPie 4.4 and up. Actually, all the RetroPie for Raspberry Pi 3B plus, it will work. Okay, this whole setup is always the same, haven't changed. So you're gonna go up with your joystick, down, then left, right, and then your start button, which is my player 1 start button, and then select is on my top. Then I'm going to choose the A and B and X and Y and L1, L2, okay? So my A button will be the one close to me. You want to be consistent because some people like to have A button over here, okay? But if you change it back and forward, you're going to get confused. So I always trying to be consistent. A is here, B is here, and X is always in the middle on the top. And then Y will be the left side, okay? Then you have a left on top, right shoulder. Then you're gonna have a left trigger, which I have set down here, left trigger, right trigger, and left thumb and right thumb. And sadly to say is people want to keep it in a traditional bar top joystick. I was talking to one of the guys, say, can you make the board, you know, the control board for the joystick where it will accept another analog like this. That way I could play my Nintendo 64 and Nintendo DS and Dreamcast without had to use different button for replace supplement of the joystick, because there's no other analog joystick, because most of the handheld home console now like PSP, PlayStation, they use another joystick. Which we don't. We only have D-pad, which is, we call it the joystick, but we don't have analog, okay? So we're gonna skip all this. We're gonna press A, 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 and then you just press let go, and we skip, and then now it's hotkey enable. So hotkey, you always want to use the select button, okay? So you're gonna press the select button, and then it's gonna ask you to press A for OK. So let's just say if you accidentally messed up, okay? You wanna go back up to the top, you press the A button again, and now it's asking you what key do you want to assign. So you could press the key again, and you could assign it. So that's how you change it. You just go up to any one of them, like, you know, and just press the A button, and now it say press any key to assign that thing, which we don't. Okay, so I'm just going to, you know, let it skip pretty much. Okay, then when you're done, just go to OK, press A, and that's the controller for control pad 1. Now I want to configure for control pad 2, so I'm going to do yes. Going to press yes for control input. Now this, you're gonna go this side, hold the button, gonna go up, down, left, right. It's always in that same sequence, okay? Start, select A, B, X, and then Y, L1, L2, left trigger, right trigger, left thumb, right thumb, okay? Sorry. I got the music turned down because it's very hard to, once we finish recording, then they send you a comment, say, hey, copyright at what location of your video that have music copyrights. They will send you that from YouTube, and it's very hard to mute it or take it out or delete it, because if you use the software that from YouTube, it seems like take forever to just mute that one area. It would be easier to download it, delete it, upload again. Okay, so I might have to spend time to do some of the video that I have that have copyright due to music. It's not like I just got warning from the YouTube channel, so those are the things that I have to fix. So I learned my lesson, so now it's like I've just turned off the video, the sound, turn it down to where I won't get no problem with YouTube. Okay, so those two controllers are set up. Now you might ask, well, what about the spinner and trackball? That's a little bit more in depth, and I want to do a separate video on that. Right now it's just the basic stuff that you need to do. Okay, So we will do that, and normally if you want, you could reboot it. Do animation reboot. So let's go ahead and do that. Say yes. And you want a keyboard plugin because you have to set up the network. To do the reason why you want to set up the Wi-Fi is because you need to, in order to set up the trackball and the spinner, and that is a more complicated things you have to do on the computer side. And I have a whole list of things, a whole sheet of how to do this, and I'll put that in the description when I talk about the spinner and the trackball. Okay, and it will work with 2010, 2003, and 2000 and May. I tried to do it for Advanced May, and I tried to do for May for all, but it doesn't work. Okay, so just FYI, May for all will not work if you want to use May. May for all is real good when you're doing templates. If you use May for all instead of May for 2003, the pixel of the line is more smoother than the May for 2003. But 2003 will work with the spinner. But May for all, I have issue trying to get it to work. Alright, so this is a different theme. It's just a theme. You could change the theme to any one you choose. When it boot up, it random select a different theme. So like I was showing you from the previous video, you could go to here and you could select the one you want by pressing enter. You could have a full list listed for you. There's only 1, 2, 3. There's only what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's more. Yeah, up there on Terminator, Street of Rage, Spinner. You could do spin if you want. So just put enter, and you don't have to exit out. You just press the start button again, and it take a few minutes to refresh the screen, and it will change to a different theme. You don't have to like. I always get into a habit of going back out and then reboot it, restart the emulator. But those are already pre-installed, the guy already tested, so you could just change it and without have to reboot it. So this is another different theme. This is not something you have to do, it just let you know it's there that you could do it. Alright, so we're gonna go to the option, and first thing you want to do is set up the network. Now he reduced the screen into a group by putting a 2 column, a 2 dot, meaning that those are subfolder. Okay, those are not, but those are it. Those are subfolders. So when you go in, you're gonna find all this different stuff in here. Like set up the day problem. If you have Dreamcast, we're also gonna talk about how to set up the Dreamcast to fix the date and also fix the controller, so both controller will work on Dreamcast. And so I'll do a separate video, but those are the different ones that you could go in there. And the network, this is the one you want to actually go into. Normally Wi-Fi is at the very bottom of the list, but he put it into a group. So inside this group you will find the Wi-Fi, okay, and then Bluetooth. If you just want to know the IP address, you could just go IP address. So we're gonna go to press A to go into Wi-Fi, and we're gonna set up the Wi-Fi. So in all images, those are the two things. These are the two main things that you have to do to get it to work or get it set up. So it only mattered. Last time I already set it up, so you already have an IP address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to forget. I'm using the keyboard right now. Forget and remove my Wi-Fi configuration. So my Wi-Fi IP address is gone now. But I'm also plugged in directly with the network. If you wanted to log in and change password and transfer file, I recommend using a direct connection, because with this image, for some reason, if you try to change the password, even you did change the password, you go into your computer, somehow, I don't know, is it something to do with my network, but I can't connect to it using Wi-Fi. So I have to do a direct connection. Even though I changed the password, I set up the SSH, because if you don't set up the SSH, it won't allow you to connect to the network. And if you don't change the password, it won't let you connect to the physical SD card. So you could update and make the trackball and other stuff to work. So I recommend, if you are using this image, do connect directly to the system and use the IP address that when you plug in. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up the Wi-Fi. I know it's not finding it. Okay, now you notice that now my Wi-Fi and IP address are the same IP address. That's what I want, because I don't want two different IP addresses. So 133 and 133 the two, they are the same IP address. So what I did is I disconnect and remove the Wi-Fi. Then I went back up to the Wi-Fi. Let me make sure that you're able to see all that. Okay, so let me bring it closer so you can see what I'm talking about. So what I did is I removed the Wi-Fi by going to this one, disconnect, and then after that I went back and reconnect. So it took the same IP address, and that's what I want. Okay, so now the IP address set is 133. We could use that and then to connect to the system and set up the spinner and the joystick. Alright, we're going to exit out. So Wi-Fi is done. So you're going to press B to get out this screen, and then we are going to go to RetroPie. And let's see what version this one have. This is a Virtual Man 4000 gigabyte version, RetroPie version 4.4.13. Okay, you want the image either 4.4 and up. You don't want anything that is 4.2, and I think 4.3, I'm not sure. Those are very old Raspberry Pi, and it does have issue updating to the new one. So if you have those image, what I did is I copy all the ROM and bio and the script and the splash screen, everything, copy out to your hard drive, and then use a motion blue or something, and then transfer all your file back in to the SD card, and then you will have the latest version plus the track mode. This one do not have track mode installed. You could install it, but it's not installed on this image. So it's just plain emulator, but would snap video and everything. So first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and upgrade the RetroPie Setup script. Okay, so you're going to click A. You're going to select yes, and all this stuff we are doing, it only take less than a minute. So if you accidentally select something wrong, it's going to take you like a whole day. So that you're going to automatically know, okay, I select the wrong option. So that was a RetroPie. Now it is 4.5.10 now. So this is the latest version of today, which is 2020 of January. I think January 2021. January 21. Okay. So this is the latest version, 4.5.10. Okay. Now once we do that, we are going to go to configuration tool. Now, if you haven't installed the the emulator, you want to come here and install the emulator. Okay, so we're going to talk about that later. We want to fix the splash screen, so we are going to go to the very bottom, which is the I want to do that later. Enable the USB so that I could copy more ROM into my physical USB drive, and then able to run all my game from my hard drive or USB drive instead of the physical, gig. So that's a good. You have that. That's good. So that's what this one is. USB board server. So I'll do a separate video on that as well. And so there will be a lot of video coming out from me. Talk about RetroPie. I haven't done. I used to be very good at RetroPie, but since I haven't done it for like maybe the last time I did it was like 4.2, and I haven't done anything. I kept all my image the same, didn't do any update, and now it's almost on. Now it's 4.5.10. So last time I touched this was Raspberry Pi B when it first came out. Now it's Raspberry Pi B Plus and Raspberry Pi 4B, 4 GB of memory. You could buy that. So once that one is more stable, I will purchase that one and do a video on that one as well. But right now I'm sticking with the 3B Plus. Okay. And so I'm upgrading all my system to get the latest one. So this is something you want to install if you want to use a USB. Okay, so I'm going to skip that because I already have 400 GB, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go to the splash screen, and this is something that Virtual Man recommend you do once you get it, and you want to go ahead enable. Right now it's disabled. You want to enable the splash screen randomly. Then you're going to select number 2. Okay, randomize on splash screen from RetroPie splash screen folder. So he have his image in here. So you want to go ahead and say okay. So now if you notice, it's enabled. Okay. All right. And you could update the splash screen if you want, which we're not going to do. Don't do too much because it could damage the image. I know that when I did too much to it, it actually damaged the image. I have to redo the whole thing. So don't do too much that you don't need to do. There is a place where you could set up the time zone and the time. So those of you who have like a different time zone, or which I do because this is set up to New York City time, New York, and I am not in New York. I'm in the Central Time. So we are going to go to exit out here. Oop. Okay, get out. All right. Let's go one more step up. Managing package. No, we don't need to do anything here. Okay, so we pretty much finished with this side. Right now, Raspberry Pi is being updated. I don't think I need to do anything here. Let me make sure before I say it too quick. Yeah, that's all we need to do on this step. There's one thing that he suggested that doesn't work here. It's like a fixed box or something that he have, and apparently it did not work. Are you sure you want to update the install package? You could do an update for the package that is already previously installed. You could install it, but I recommend don't do anything else if you want the image to work, because my Neo Geo stopped working because I did the update. So just don't do any more. Just go to, now we're gonna go to Raspberry Pi configuration. Okay, and this is the part where you could set up the language and the time, I believe. Here you're going to change the password if you need to change the password. This is configuring the network option, and then you could do overclock right here. I'm going to go to advanced setting. number 7. In order to make this work, you have to use the joystick, go to left. Once you go to left, it will come here. Then you could press the B button instead of A button. It's kind of weird. On this screen, it's set up a little bit different. You could fix your audio if your audio has some kind of glitch where your system acting weird. You could come over here and do the audio, force the audio out through HDMI or 3.5 jack, so you could do that. I recommend doing it because I do have problem with this image. You could do that one, and then you could expand the file. So let's just say you have a 512 gigabyte and you put a 400 gigabyte image on a 512. So you want to utilize the whole disk space, so you want to press B. Right now it's highlighted, so you're going to press B instead of A. And that will expand the hard drive space. So you say boot up, partition has been resized, the file will be enlarged upon the next reboot. So you're going to say OK. All right. So you want to do that to increase the disk space. And then let's see, we got advanced. If you want to upgrade the script, you could, but it's not necessary. Like I said, the less you do is better because you don't want to mess up anything. And then I'm gonna force the audio to fix the audio as well. Press the joystick to the left and then press B, and then you're going to force it to come out. Like mine is, I think I changed it to, yeah, I changed it to 3.5, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that instead. I'm gonna cancel, yeah, go ahead, let's do it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that one. Let me see, there's one where you set up the so that's how you fix the sound. And then if you want to set up the SSH, boot option, no, that's not it. Let me get out here, click finish, go ahead and reboot it. So we just expand the hard drive space to make sure you utilize all the space, not just based on the image space. Image, when you button it, it created the image space, meaning that if it's less than 400 gig, you are using less than 400 gig image. This is not copyright, just whoever is watching this is not that's just created by the user who created this, so it's not a copyright thing. So hopefully they don't flag me for that. Okay, so what I did is the instruction I have is press F4, okay, and it gives you information about what's over here. Okay, let's make sure you can see it. All right, sorry about that. I didn't know you cannot see it. So let me move it closer to here. So what this do is that when you press F4 on the keyboard, it tells you what this thing is in my way. Put it back. Okay, so see, this is pretty cool. You could put that up there and become a driver. I went and got one of this, printed out for the Glenn's trackball. Okay, so right now I have a heat sink and everything in there. So my temperature is actually pretty good. It tells you that the size is 362 and you use 353, so you still have 792 gig left, and it's 100%. And this is a two partition. One is the one you could see is 55% use only, but the image is using 100%. So you don't have space to do anything with this. So don't try to put anything in there because it's going to actually create a problem when you have no space and you're adding more stuff to it. Then the system will act funny and you have some problem. Right now I'm trying to see where's my temperature. Normally when you get out here, it will tell you what is your temperature. Right now it's 49.9. So mine do not have a case, but it have heat sink only, doesn't have a fan. I recommend to have a fan on top of heat sink. It will make your Raspberry Pi a lot cooler and will stay in that temperature better. With the case or without the case, for the bar top, I don't think you need a case, but if you want to put it in a case, it's okay. But I'm gonna test it with the fan without a case, and I believe the temperature stay below 42, 43, so it's pretty good. Alright, so from here you're gonna type sudo RetroPie sudo and rasp-config. Okay, did I type it wrong? Yeah, I sure did. sudo raspi-config. I forgot the I. There you go. Okay, so that, I think that is the same screen we were in. Okay, we're going to choose number 4, the logical, they misspelled this, it's localization, they put an S instead of Z. Localization option setup, language and region setup to match your location. Yeah, location. Are you able to see all that? I want to make sure. Okay, so about that, let's see if you can see better. Okay. All right, so we are changing the time zone and on the system. Okay, let me go back one. So okay, so when we type the Raspberry raspi-config, it come to this screen. Then we're gonna choose number 4. Okay. Once you choose number 4, we are going to change the time zone, and you can also change the language. Okay, so let's do one. Let's see which one that I have set up here, and I'll put this on the description as well. This right here, this instruction. So you're going to pick number 11. We're going to change the location. Okay. Now this one is a pain in the neck because the list is so long. So let me move it back on this side. See how long that list is? Okay. The one you're gonna pick is going to be, for English, you are going to pick this one. So we do choose number 11, then we're going to pick the region. We're going to choose the English US UTF AUTF-8. Okay, and that's what we're going to pick. All right. Now, you might say, well, Johnny, how do you know which one to pick? I just pick it and it was correct, so I wrote it down, and that's how I know. I wish you could go the other way to go to the bottom, but you can't, so you're just going to hold it until you see your EN. Well, now it's B, C, D, E. So use your keyboard, go faster. If you use your joystick, you're going to be like this. You know, it doesn't even work. So use a keyboard. So once you get to the EN, you are going to look for ENUS. Okay, right there, this one. Okay, it's already highlighted already. Okay, so you're going to pick that, and you're going to press B instead. Okay, you're going to move your joystick to the okay, you're going to press enter, and it's going to ask you which one you want. You want the one at the bottom, so you press enter, and then you select that one and use a joystick. Okay, so I use the not joystick, keypad. You're going to use your keypad, press the left or the right to make it highlight blue, and change it to OK. All right. Let me see. I don't think you can see all that. Let me zoom it back out. Yeah. So you want to pick the okay. You're going to choose the ones that say the EN_US.UTF-8, and then you're going to press your keyboard OK. So that will change it to the language of for United States. So now at the bottom it says generating, and now it's finished kickout. Okay, so that's how you change the. Now you want to change the time zone. We just did the language. Now we're going to do the time zone. You're going to press enter on the time zone. Okay, in the time zone you are going to pick the country, where mine is USA. So I'm going to press enter. Then it's going to ask you where in USA. So in my case, I'm going to choose Central. See right there? Central. Alright. Let me make sure your screen, you can see that. Give me 1 second. Okay. So mine is Central. So I'm going to choose that. And then joystick's not working here, so I'm going to use the keypad, press right, and then you will go down to OK, press enter, Central Time. So now my language and the time zone is correct, and that's pretty much it for how to set this one up. Okay. Now if you want to change your password, this is where you will press enter to change your password. So let's go ahead and change the password. Say OK. It's going to say enter the new password right here at the bottom. So let me change the screen again. Sorry that it's going to take, this video is going to take a little bit longer than I expected. Okay, because those are the problems a lot of people will run into, where they say the password wasn't set and we want you to set the password. Okay, so you want to do it inside the system. You don't want to, you're going to do everything inside here. So it's going to ask you to type in the new password. I'm going to use Raspberry, RASPBERRY. Enter. He said we type it again, RASPBERRY. Okay. Password change successful. Click OK. All right, yes, you cannot see that because I'm in the. All right, successful. Click OK. So we're gonna click OK. Press enter. All right. So password changed. Now we have to set up the SSH. Okay. Because if SSH is not set up, you cannot log in using PuTTY or the WinSCP. All right. It's not this one. Which one is it? Give me 1 second. Let me. Because if you don't, we don't do this all the time, but so it's good to write it down and to put it on a video, and that way, you know, anytime you need to get to it, you know how to go about it. So the interface option is number 5. So configure connection to the prehistorious whatever. Press enter. Here's the F2 SSH. You want to enable the SSH. If you don't, you will not able to use your PuTTY and your Win file. Okay, good. Just want to make sure you can see everything. Okay, so you want to enable that because it's important to enable that. So I'm going to press the right arrow key and then press enter on the keyboard, and then I'm going to say yes, enter. Now it say it is enabled. Okay, so you do okay. That's pretty much it. That's all you have to do when you first get your image. You want to set up your SSH. You want to set up reset your password to something else other than Raspberry, which I kept it the same. And you want to write down your new password too, so that way you don't have any problem. Okay, so that's pretty much it when you first get your image. So you click finish, and that's it. And then you're gonna say sudo reboot, because we press F4 to access out. So we gotta type sudo reboot with space, sudo space reboot, reboot, and now the system reboot. And that's pretty much it. And then you could able to play whatever you want to do. Yeah, the sound is going to. All right, thank you for watching, and that's pretty much it to set up this retro system. Oh, I think I actually press enter, so it boot is going to directly here. Let me get out here. Press start same time. I mean the start and select same time to get out. Okay, press B. Alright, so now we're in a different emulator. This thing random select different emulator, not emulator, theme, different theme. So if you don't like the theme, you could remove it, or you could install new theme. The way you install new theme is you press the start button, and let me see. I'm sorry. Not this is to change it. To install, you have to go to Raspberry or option. Depending on what theme. Some theme is called option. Some things theme are called Raspberry. And so right now this one is called option. Alright. So to install the theme, you will have to go to EM theme. Let's see if it's here. Yeah. So you go to ES theme. Okay, and that's how you install new theme. Okay, So if you don't like the theme that you've seen and you have a particular theme that you want, you could update the theme that is already pre-installed. But if you want to use a different theme, you're gonna go. I wonder if a keyboard will be faster. Yeah, keyboard is faster. So if you have a keyboard plugin, just press down, it goes super fast. Instead of doing one at a time. And then you can select the one you like. I like the one is called something 54. So I can install that. You can install Mario, you know. This one is already pre-installed already. They have Donkey Kong. So they have different one. I wish they have picture that show you what they have already. So I'm going to install the arcade one up, the 54. Just press enter and it only might go down here saying it's installing. When you finish, you'll kick it back up there again on the screen. Then you go, okay, that one is done. So if you don't want something here, you could write down the name and then you just come back over here and say, okay, I want to uninstall it, and it will uninstall it, okay? So that's how you get rid of the theme that you don't like. And so that way when it random boot up, you're not going to get a theme that you don't like. And this is a good one for virtual, like you have a virtual screen and you don't want, you know, you want the screen to all be virtual, you know, tilt this way instead of horizontal. This is a good one. This is the best one for the virtual screen if you want to use a virtual screen, okay? But you want to, in config.system, you want to add an extra line called display_status equal 2 or 3, depending on your screen, and it will tilt the screen when you boot up to the right, the right direction. Okay. All right. So that's a good one for the virtual limited virtual theme to install it to, so everything will run. You know, let me go ahead and install it so I can show you. Click cancel. All right. Anyway, so use a keyboard will be able to get there quicker. And let me go back in and install and just show you what I mean. Okay, so then you use this arrow key, go all the way down, make it super fast. Okay, this is the one I was talking about. Let me go ahead and install that, just show it to you. That one is the best one if you have the screen tilted vertically instead of horizontal. Right now mine is horizontal. If you would tilt it to vertically. Okay, now you press the start button and you go to UIT setting. And let me go ahead and just change the ninja to, let me press enter so I can find it quicker. They even have Pac-Man, cool, that's pretty neat. Let me go ahead and go to the one I just installed, virtual. I think it's probably alphabet order, so it should be at the bottom instead, on the top. That's the arcade one up, and that's the one. Those two are the one I just installed. So press enter, press start button again, and it will refresh the screen for you. There you go. Wow, because I have the screen full screen, so it doesn't look that good when you have horizontal. But if you have a vertical, it will look good. But right now, it doesn't look great using this one. So I'm gonna go to UIR and change it to the other one, the RK54. Yeah, that one it's not gonna look that great with if you already have your screen this direction. Okay, this one worked great for arcade one up. This also if you're not tilting the screen but you like it like this, more, you know, for the smaller arcade system, like a retro system that you upgrade to Raspberry Pi, you know, with a small screen, this would be a good one to use. That means that everything's big, and so it's easier for you to see what you have, you know. Let me go into one of them, see what it look like. And then you have the word and then the demo over there. I got the sound turned down so that way I don't get any kind of trouble with copyright. So I do have sound on this system, but right now it's very low because I turned the sound down from here. So if you turn it up, I think you'll have to reboot it to make it work. Yeah. Alright, hope this helped. That's all you have to do in the beginning of an image. And once, yeah, that's the place. So, sorry about that. I hope you could see the last thing we did. What we did is we went to UIR, and I went to the arcade one up. You know, you could choose whatever one you want. Okay, and then press A button again to get out, and then the screen will look different. So that's what we did. I didn't know the screen was that bright. I apologize for that. So hopefully this helped. This is a video 1 to show you what you need to do to get it up and going. And then the next video we will talk about how to set up the trackball and the spinner, and then how to set up the Dreamcast, make all the button work. And that's pretty much it. All right, talk to you all later.